We'll have questions for just the players, dismiss them, and come back to Coach for further comments. Coach Molinari, congrats, and an opening statement from you.
Thank you. Well, first off, every game we played North Dakota State this year was like that, and we were very fortunate, blessed, to win that game. It was a grind-em-out game, could have gone either way, and obviously took a terrific shot to give us a little breathing room. But Saul does a great job. They have a great team. We're a great team to be reckoned with. Our young men, that's our formula. We have to play good defense and try to take better care of the ball, good shot selection, and rebound the ball. And I thought that was our formula. Overall, we did a good job tonight, and I think our young men showed tremendous character.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for our three players.
Todd Rudolph, the Tennessee County Voice. Seal, safe to say that's the biggest shot you've made here at Western after 29 foul?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a huge shot. I mean, got us over the hump a little bit. I always hear my coaches say, big time players step up in big time games, and I was willing to shoot that shot and knock it down, and we just kept rolling from there.
Garrett Hodge, Western Career. Obi, this is your first year in the tournament, being a freshman, obviously, yet you were the leather sitting scorer. What were you feeling out there? I mean, what made you so successful today?
We just try to treat it like a normal game, same procedures, everything, same pregame, we just came out and executed.
Jeff Kopak, former Flagel. Seal, can you get more specific on the shot? Looked like you got turned sideways or something?
It was a great play, by our coaching staff. They ran the play for me. Being a senior, I was going to take a shot. The guys got me open. Great screens, turned, kind of knocked me a little bit. Just kind of tried to focus on the rim. Ball went in and got the foul.
Terrell, you had some huge dunks in this game, especially the one going into halftime. Can you talk a little bit about what really got you into those dunks?
Steele, he's a great passer. At that time, he just got double teamed by my man and somebody else, and he just made a great pass, and I just went up and dunked it.
Steele, how frustrating was it for you in the first half when your shots just weren't falling? What adjustments did you make going into the second half?
As a shooter and scorer and as a leader, I try not to get down on myself. I think my teammates did a great job of, keeping me motivated and keeping me in the game, telling me to keep my head up and just try to stay with my shot, and late in the game I knocked down a few shots and it got me going a little bit, but I just try to not look at my misses and just move on. We're a defensive-minded team, so defense is first.
Terry Vanderbeck with the Argus Cedar in Sioux Falls. You've been a part of this program a lot longer than these two guys. What's got into getting you guys to 17 wins and are making the conference semis after not even making the tournament last year? What's been the biggest key to that turnaround?
I think it all started with the offseason with a great group of guys. We have guys that came in, just willing and determined, for us not to have a season like we have had in the past, and with us being preseason ranked number 9, that was kind of motivation for us to just keep pushing and for us to win tonight was a great step. And these guys is their first time here, and I think they push just as much as us seniors are pushing. So it's great to be with these guys and around this program right now.
Mike Brown, Tulsa World. I know all three of you are excited about playing ORU, but I'll ask Obi since he's an Oklahoma guy. What do you think? Playing ORU again.
We're excited, at the opportunity to get back. They're a great basketball team. They're, have a great coach, great players. One of the leading scorers in our league, Dominique Morrison. And we're excited at the opportunity. They got us twice, and they're hard-fought games, but we think we got it.
To all three of you, what does this win just mean for your program, considering where it was a year ago?
I think it's a stepping stone for our program. We try to gain respect, not only at Western, but in the summer league and throughout the nation. And we have a defensive-minded program, and it shows tonight. We try to lock down in the games and get stops, and we've been trying to do that throughout the whole season. North Dakota's a great team. They fought real hard. We kind of dug in together as a team. We huddled hard, and we knew we had to make the stops at the end of the game. And I think 1 through 12. Even the bench is out there with us out there on defense. It was just a great team victory for us tonight.
Time for one more question. Time for no more questions. Players, thank you. All right, now we'll take questions for Coach Jim Molinari.
Brian Everson, the Oakland Post. Coach, whether transfer or freshman or injury, these guys, weren't here. And part of the reason maybe you guys weren't as successful last year. When did you see this season, advancing and just making the tournament and being as successful as possible? When did you start to materialize?
Well, if you last year this time you had told me this year would be right here, I would not necessarily thought that was going to happen. But I did not know what Terrell Parks was. I did not know what Obi Magano was. I think the turnaround was based so quickly, and getting Ciola back, we stayed injury-free this year, and we added 2 players that can compete at the highest level. And I think that's what's caused the turnaround. The Lord's really blessed us without having any injuries, and but when you have to add Ciola and then you get Obi and Terrell, I think we could compete with most people. I've said all year we could win every game and we could lose every game. We have a chance both ways, and I think we played well at the end of the year and kind of played right.
Coach Ciola said that you guys drew up that play on the three-pointer. He had been struggling to that point. Was there any doubt in your mind, though, you're going to your senior with that play?
Well, the other thing about Ciola is a great free throw shooter. So, we want to put the ball in his hands, and he's great. High assist, low turnover, so that was the part. But it's a play we've run. And if you remember when we were here 2 years ago, Ciola didn't make a basket in the first half either, and I think had 18 points in the second half. So we knew he'd start making some shots. And we wanted to run that play. Obviously, we didn't really know he'd make him get fouled, but we wanted to put the ball in his hands. It's a play we run, try to get him an open look. And we were fortunate. It was good execution, and he stepped up. And if you're going to win in March, your best players have to step up. And obviously, he's been a very good player for a lot of years at Western. So he stepped up, and I kind of think these young men deserve that. We've been in the desert a long time. I think you got to go through the desert to get the promised land, and just to get this first win here, that was another big step up program.
Coach, your first 20 points, 19 of them came from Jack and Obi. What was the team's mindset kind of at that point when you only had really 2 premier scores at the time?
Well, North Dakota State had a great plan. They made us a jump shooting team. And we're not, I knew last week, we got credit Salt in 1 week to just change this team's approach defensively. They were a very good defensive team early in the year and throughout most of the year, but it can get away from it a little bit. Our defense has gotten away from us a little bit during the year, and he had them ready. So, we had to make jump shots. He just said, we're going to give you jump shots, and Jack and Obi stepped up and made some. That's not a real strength of our team, stepping in jump shots. So, but I think Obi kept us in the game.
Coach, how confident do you feel coming into this game? Already beaten them twice, playing here just a week after you won in Fargo.
Not very. I don't know about confidence. I would say it was a toss-up game. They say the hardest thing to do in sports is to beat a team 3 times, but you have to know the games. North Dakota State could have won the game at our place. It was the last possession. Now, last week it got away from them a little bit. But no, I think it's a very hard thing to do, and I thought the game was a toss-up, and it was. Most of our games come down to last possessions. When you play the pack defense like we do, there's not many possessions in the game. So as a result, usually, most of the games, are going to be decided with the last few possessions.
Right. Coach, you said it's been a fairly injury-free year, but your son went down with an injury at Michigan. So combined with the ambiguity of what the players coming in, how much of an emotional year has it been for you?
It's been they say if you're a dad, you're only as happy as your unhappiest child. And that's kind of true. That's why I had a little better understanding when I used to think parents were crazy at camp. Like, what are they? Until my kids got older and played, and then I realized, you get really emotionally involved. So it's been a really hard year that way, But I think that brought our team together. Billy did it at Michigan. I told him never to go within the 3-point line. He broke the rule. But and then his knee caved in, and there were a lot of guys crying in the locker room and things. So it kind of brought our team together. But I would say, and I'm not forgetting about that, but you have to know last year we lost 4 or 5 guys like that. So to only have one that really I think we look at it and say, "No, this has been a great injury-free year."
Time for a couple more.
Coach, you kind of prided your team this year on turnovers and not committing them. You had 12 turnovers in this game. Would you say that's kind of where you were aiming for in this game, or do you still want...
We'll give North Dakota State credit. 12's not terrible, but when they made their 8-0 run, we had a few, guys are falling down. But give them credit. They chose to put Braun at the 4 a lot. And, he can really step up the pressure. He's a great player. And so they got in the passing lanes. And we didn't sub much. We don't have a real deep bench, so I think our guys got a little tired. So we had a few key ones late that I thought really hurt us, but I would give them credit. I would give them credit for that. But we have to be. We've been a low turnover team all year, and we have to be.
Last question.
How do you think your team matches up with Oral Roberts when
Well, I think here's the thing about Oral Roberts. I think a conference championship over the course of the season is much more meaningful than a tournament championship. I understand the tournament team goes to the NCAA, but that shows you're good over the whole year. And they've been great. If you can lose one game in our league, they've been a tremendous team, as has South Dakota State. Those two teams clearly separated themselves. And I think their confidence will be a lot higher. Than it was last game. When you get in those battles, I think I watched Morris, Dominique on the bench. He was going, just get through this, and they did. So, hey, they'll play great, but we're looking forward to the challenge. Matching up with them, we just do what we do. We've had 2 good games with them, but if we think that means anything in the 3rd game, we can't let up a minute. We just got to play our game and have one of our better nights. But it's going to be fun to compete with them. They're extremely well coached, and they have an excellent team of seniors. And especially, I think the one that goes unnoticed is Pearson. I think he's a tremendous competitor.
All right, Coach.